very much. Please remain seated all times, keeping your hands on his legs and feet inside the train at all times. The little one interest in the middle of the train, away from the big train door on the right or on the parent side. Next up, Main Street Station. We are going to take a slight detour to the Grand Canyon, then go back in time for the primeval world. As a reminder, please, no flash photography or video lighting, no light up toys or ears through the tunnel. Thank you.
To those who have just come aboard, welcome. The next leg of our journey will take us from the fantastic world of the future to the breathtaking beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children and no flash photography.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños.
Returning to our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you're leaving us here, stay in your seat until we come to a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings and step carefully from the train. I'd especially like to thank those of you who've been with me for the Grand Circle tour of Disneyland. We hope you enjoyed your travels with us and that you'll come back to ride with us.
As we pull the Main Street Station, please remain fully seated as the train comes in. Please stop. For moving to any small rooms that make please keep them folded. On either side of the station, there is only no ramp. Once again, please remain fully seated as the train comes to a full and complete stop inside the station. Our next scheduled stop is New Orleans Square Station. On our journey, please remain seated.
legs inside the train. Please supervise young children, ensuring they're properly seated away from the train opening. Thank you. Welcome to New Orleans Square. This will be your stop for Critter Country, Frontierland, Adventureland, and of course, New Orleans Square. Please wait for the train to make a full stop inside the station before you stand up next. Thank you. Railroad. Our next scheduled stop is Mickey's Toontown Depot. On our journey, please remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, legs inside the train. Also, please supervise young children, ensuring they're properly seated away from the train opening. Next stop is Fantasyland.
To those just joining us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids. We're now entering Splash Mountain, rumored to be the location of the one and only Laughing Place. If you look real hard, you just might find it. It's where the critters are celebrating a zippity doo-dah day. Speaking of critters, this place we're passing over is home to a whole bunch of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear on their fun-filled adventures. As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost of these parts, we're now joining up with the Rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the trip. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see.
Persons need to be sitting on their buckets, can't be standing.
There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the Great River Valley below. People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams and the stories that went with them were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable, like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Small World 在这边呢，下午。
Gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop. Remember your personal belongings, then step carefully from the train. Have fun, and say hi to Mickey and Minnie for me. Those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is Toontown Depot, Mickey's Toontown.
Welcome to Fantasyland, folks. Please remain seated till we reach a full stop inside the station. This will be your gateway to Mickey's Toontown and all of Fantasyland. Disneyland Railroad. Our next scheduled stop is Tomorrowland Station. On our journey, please remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Also, please supervise young children, ensuring they're properly seated away from the train opening. Our next stop, Tomorrowland.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. You can see people stepping onto It's a Small World just below us. And, off in the distance, majestic Matterhorn Mountain.
我被闪晕了，你也被闪晕了，你没有啊？哇，你好厉害呀！妈妈被闪晕了，不要去报了，我就听你做这个小火车就好，还有做别的，好不好？对不对？对呀，那我感觉，等一下你休息一下吧啊。
We're now steaming forward into the future to a land inspired by visions of tomorrow, both practical and imagined. Here you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and astroblasters, and, if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astro blasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute.
Welcome to Tomorrowland. Please wait for the train to make a full stop inside the station before you stand up to exit. Here's where you can experience Autopia, the submarine voyage, the monorail, Matterhorn, space film, Star Tours, and many more. Alright everybody, our next scheduled stop is Main Street Station. On our journey, please remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, legs inside the train. Also, please supervise young children, ensuring they're properly seated away from the train opening. Now, folks, to get to Main Street, we need to pass through a long, dark tunnel. Inside the tunnel, we kindly ask, please no flash photography. Thank you.
To those who have just come aboard, welcome. The next leg of our journey will take us from the fantastic world of the future to the breathtaking beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children and no flash photography.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Por favor, no tome fotografías con plato.
Back in time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primeval world, land of the dinosaurs. I'd especially like to thank those of you who've been with me for the Grand Circle Tour of Disneyland. We hope you enjoyed your travels with us and that you'll come back to ride with us again real soon. For those of you staying with us, we'll be on our way again in just a few minutes. This is Main Street Station, Main Street, USA.
Welcome back to Main Street Station, folks. Please wait for the train to make a full stop inside the station before you stand up to exit. Please keep in mind when the station only has stairs. If you're exiting and you're traveling with wheels, please keep those full until you reach the bottom. Thank you.
Please remain seated, keeping those hands, arms, legs inside the train at all times. Away from the train openings. Our next stop is Tomorrowland
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. We're embarking on a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Toontown. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop. And watch your step as you're getting on. For those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is New Orleans Square Station. New Orleans Square.
The train comes to a complete stop. Sabes cómo fue the Excursion today of the Disneyland Railroad? We do offer a single repeating of peanut butter and legs inside the train at all times. Here's the provide total when you come away from the train opening. Our next stop is Belle.
To ensure a safe ride, stay seated aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.